Perfect. All right. Thanks for joining us. Same as a couple weeks ago, we got members of the local media on with us, and we're just kind of going to go around the room a little bit, take some questions for about 15 minutes, and then get you on with your day. So first, we'll start off with Brent Axe.
Brendan, thanks for doing this. Just to jump back to the Army game, what was kind of the contrast of emotions you guys were feeling? You know, you're up 6-1, and then Army goes on that run, and the game just really changed in a lot like a drop of the hat.
Yeah, I mean, first game of the year, first game in a while. So emotions were all over the place to begin with. Nerves, excitement. I think we jumped out of the gate really strong. That was a point of emphasis kind of the whole week of practice. And we did that. And then, the team like Army, they're never going to stop. So even if you take the foot off the gas for 5 minutes, you're going to be right back in the game. And that's kind of what happened. But, it's a learning experience, and we'll move on from there.
Just to follow up on that, asked Brett the same thing. You've been in a few of these Syracuse, Virginia games now, and the script's always the same. They're always close. Why do you think that is?
I just think, both teams are so deep, so explosive, push transition, 10-man rides. All the defenders are so athletic, pushing it in transition, midfielders, attackmen, D-middies. There's athletes all over the field. So I think, stuff happens like that. And it's always a high-scoring, very fun game to be a part of.
Thank you.
All right, Brent, I'm going to pause you for a second with a quick request from our TV folks. Can you close that blinds behind you a little bit so they can get a better video of you and it's not backlit?
Yeah.
Thanks. That one right there. Perfect. Should be better. Is that better, guys?
Yes. Sorry, that came from me. I apologize. You look better.
No, you're good.
Thanks.
All right. Next, we go to Lindsey Kramer.
Hey, Brendan. So one of the things about the game the other day, obviously, it was the first lacrosse game with no fans in the stands. And normally when there'd be a goal in front of 5,000-6,000 people, you hear an explosion or roar. Now up in the press box, you could hear the ball hitting the pipe, or you could hear the celebration on the field, just the players talking. What was it like sort of having big moments like that in a quiet dome and no reactions?
Yeah, it was definitely strange. But I think our bench did a really good job of bringing that energy that, was missing from the fans, especially in those first couple minutes. It was pretty rocking on the sideline. So we just got to keep that up, almost weigh that out with no fans. And, hopefully we'll be getting some fans in there soon. But just more emphasis of, keeping the energy up on the sidelines. And honestly, it's easier to communicate at certain points, which we got to do a better job of. But, yeah. Definitely.
And, speaking of celebrations, Ian Laviano from Virginia had a conference call yesterday. Someone asked him about his celebrations. I wasn't aware, but I guess he's very enthusiastic and occasionally will plan a goal celebration, like taking a picture with teammates or jumping on top of them. I got to thinking, in lacrosse, are planned celebrations a thing, or do you ever think about what you might do if you score, or is it just more spur of the moment thing as far as you're concerned?
Yeah, it's more of just kind of, whatever comes to mind, especially when there's a crowd in there. You're kind of just zone out for a second. You're just trying to take it all in. But it's pretty random as to what celebration is. And our team doesn't usually do the whole planned celebration thing. We're just kind of group hug and then off to the sideline.
Sure. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next, go to Mark Larson.
Hey, Brendan, a lot of the talk about the defense after that Army game, giving up 18, but the offense only scored 11, and I know you guys expect to score more than that. Talk to me about that. How disappointed are you guys in your offensive output, and what do you expect to score when you go out?
Yeah, I don't think there's a certain number, before we go into the game. Obviously, this week we're going to definitely have to score a lot more than 11. But, just this is a new week, and we've kind of moved on from last week. There was no talk about it at practice other than maybe early on Monday or Tuesday. But, other than that, we're just, we have our game plan put in place, trusting Coach March, and we'll go on from there. But we're confident that we can improve every week.
And I just want to follow up. I asked Brett this too, how big of an blow to the ego it was. If there were fans in the stands for Army, they would have been chanting that old, tired, overrated chant. Where are you guys at with that? Was it a wake up call or slap in the face? What was it?
Yeah, I would say more just a wake up call. We try not to listen to, Inside the Cross or Twitter or any of that stuff. We definitely had some hype going into the season, but it's good now to reset and just, this is this year, not last year, all that type of stuff. Just kind of keep moving forward, huge game, big rebound game this weekend, kind of show, ourselves and really nobody else. Just kind of work on getting our confidence back as a group.
Thanks, Brendan.
Next, go to Trey Redfield.
Hey, Brendan. So you co-led the team with 3 points the last time you guys played Virginia. To be exact, it's been 728 days, almost 2 years. But 3 points in that one. What is something that you did in that heartbreaker against the Cavaliers that you think that you'll be able to bring into this Saturday?
Yeah, it's definitely a long time ago, but I think, I remember some of the specifics was just, getting to the dodging to the net. They're really athletic and they come after you. So just kind of getting out into space when they're pressing you, kind of getting your hands free before you shoot. They're really athletic. They're good, very good goalies. So just making sure we're smart and moving the ball and, not taking too many early shots.
And just to follow up on that, the all-time series between you guys is tied at wins and losses, tied in goals scored. It's like Duke and Carolina, but I think we can all say it's even better. What does it mean to play in such a great rivalry between you and UVA?
Yeah, I mean every single time we've played them, it's been an awesome game. Freshman year down at UVA, last second goal by Tucker. I always remember that one. First time playing at UVA, it was sunny and nice. I always just feel like the energy is just super high. There's a level of respect between the two teams, but also, we want to beat them. They want to beat us. So it's an awesome rivalry, and there's obviously a lot of history, and we know that. But we're focused on this year and this year only.
Thank you. Next one, Nate Mink.
Hey, Brendan. Desco's been mentioned a couple times how he would like to see you guys kind of change up the levels of your shots. I think, for instance, early on in Army, you were kind of trained to go low on the goalie. I'm wondering, how cognizant you are of trying to switch that up in game as a shooter. Is that something you're thinking about before you're letting it rip?
Yeah, for the most part, usually going high to low like that is the best option, just because the goalie's got to check it from all the way to his eyes, all the way down to his feet. But the Army goalie was kind of dropping and baiting us low, and he was also really good at doing that. And this week, changing planes is always something that you want to do, but kind of reading the goalie's tendencies after the first couple shots is always big too, and Coach March is really good at that. So making adjustments on the fly, sometimes, sticking it high to high is the way to go if the goalie is kind of dipping to his feet.
Sure. Thanks.
Thanks, Nate. We got time for two more. We'll go to Andrew Crane first.
Hey, Brendan. I was just curious with Army's kind of decision to put a shorty on Scanlon right away. Was that something you guys were expecting heading into the game? Were you expecting them to put a shorty on him? Because I know he scored in the first possession, but then was kind of quiet afterward. So how did you guys anticipate Army, kind of using the short stick? And then I guess what kind of surprised you during the game about that?
Yeah, we knew there was a potential for them to double pull up top. After last year, the team started doing it. Yeah, I mean, this week, we don't really know what they're going to do either. It's kind of a toss-up, but, we have game plans in place for both. And, we just have to be better on offense as a whole, moving the ball and getting people to spots and moving the ball and just making better decisions. But yeah, we kind of expected someone to get a shorty, but we didn't obviously know who. Teams will switch it up all year just to keep us on our toes as well.
And then just to follow up real quick, Owen had his first, obviously his first collegiate action. I mean, he ran a second midfield line, man up, even had some time in attack late in the game. I guess, what did you see from him? You've obviously seen him in practice the last, 4 or 5 months. But, what did you see from him in his first kind of collegiate action on the field?
Yeah, I mean, he's a stud. Definitely doesn't play like a freshman, which is huge coming in, kind of earning a role and the respect of the other guys. He's really smart, thinks a couple plays ahead, couple passes ahead. So he's always kind of in the right spot. Like you saw him man up, knew exactly where he was going to be and where he was going to shoot it. So kind of just his maturity is obviously more games you play, the more comfortable you get. So he's really fun to play with, and I'm looking forward to keep playing with him throughout this year.
Thank you. For our last
Thank you.
question, we'll go to Brent Axe.
Brendan, I was wondering, and certainly in a pandemic, maybe it's tougher because of restrictions and everything, but is there anything that you do off the field with Jamie and Tucker to kind of work on your chemistry, or is it really just something that's all on the field?
Yeah, I mean, me and Tucker were freshmen, we became pretty close with Jamie, who was obviously 1 year older than us. But I'd just say building that relationship throughout the years. I could go a couple days or weeks without seeing Jamie, and I live with Tucker, so I see him pretty much 24/7. But and just kind of one of those lists where you pick it up right away. So it's really fun playing with them. Especially, playing with two of your best friends. So we kind of just pick it up where we left off. And obviously we'd like to be hanging out more off the field, but, COVID is getting in the way with that right now. But yeah, we just kind of cherish the time of practice.
All right, thanks everybody. Brendan, can I get you to hang on for a second? I got to tape one more thing with you, but